All right, welcome back to the Wildly Painful podcast with Jay and
Nicole.
Cole. And um, this week we're going to start it off with a dream I had about 4 years ago. And in the dream, I had been kind of thrust into the stars and I felt lucid, and so I asked to be shown something that was like best for me at that time, like just something that's the most meaningful thing that I could be shown, type of vibe, you know.
Mm-mm.
And then immediately I was like under the sea of fractals. It was like these fractals that were forming, like feeding off of each other. They were moving and dancing, and it was almost like there was like light rays beaming through them. It was just like very alive, and the fractals just kept, it was clear to me they were just endlessly forming. And it, for one, it was very beautiful, it was very striking, but it was just, I just kept telling myself that I have to remember this is like important, you know, like it felt like so cool, and I was like kind of lucid, so I was like, I have to remember this, and so I wrote it down, and I can still vividly remember what it looked like. But since then, I've been kind of thinking about fractals, of course, and what that could mean. Would why would that be something that would be meaningful for me to see at that time or any other time, you know?
Yeah.
So the only thing I knew about fractals at that time, and still mostly, is that when you zoom into them, no matter how far you get into the detail, you see another whole fractal. So it's like my interpretation is there's this message that within every part contains the whole, you know? So, and I think that is what I feel like that is what we are. We contain the whole of everything within us. Everybody. There's no way to not contain the whole of the universe, meaning the possibilities available to us, what we represent, what we have access to, that we derive from that, and we cannot ever be without it. Like we can never be split up or zoomed in enough to where we lose our wholeness.
Oh.
You know?
Oh, that's so cool. The whole human condition almost, or
yeah,
kind of mapped into a fractal. So we're these mini universes, or universe reflection. Universe can imprint we contain the fingerprint of the universe.
Yes, we contain, yes, and it's part of our entire makeup. Like, this is what I'm thinking. Like, it's just part of who we are. That we are endless beings. We are never at the end of our like growth or discovery of self. We'll always find more to discover. We'll always there will always be more. That we are endless, like naturally. But everybody, there's not anybody more endless than another, you know, like it's just kind of our nature. That's what we are fractals.
Oh man, that is so cool.
Yeah,
I love that. That's really exciting to think about.
yeah,
that really is visceral when you start thinking of human beings as the living, breathing fractals of the universe.
Yeah,
like, oh, this one's over here doing this, but still in some grand way, in some grand scheme, following some grand map, or
right,
fed by some grand thing. Like, this one's making a paper about AI, and this one is playing the piano, and this one is raising a child, and like, but somehow they contain the whole. Like, it's like such a meaningful, interconnected way to think about humans as some
right
grand scheme.
Yeah, I think so too. It's I've been trying to also learn just more about fractals and what is special about them, or you know, but yeah, I don't know. I lost my train of thought, but
That's what we are.
That's
That's
exactly
what
what we
we
are.
are.
Yeah, I contain the whole universe, and I couldn't come up with something to say, but no, I'm kidding. But yeah, I mean, I think that's like an inspiring thought. Even if it was just some random like dream from my subconscious, still I think that, and to a certain degree, it's like kind of true. Like any person, like you said, there's somebody who could be writing an AI paper, or somebody who could be gardening. I mean, that's just what we're kind of, our differences lean us in different ways, but they're the capability is, I think, within all of us to do whatever if we were ever so prone to do that, or that makes sense.
Yeah. So we can like when you think about this fractal idea in particular, you're talking about almost like you're most excited maybe by the idea I'm trying of what we have access to as like collective consciousness, like or collective capabilities, like
Yes.
like we can do anything because we're connected to because we contain the whole thing within us.
Right. We are built. It's built. It's built in. It comes standard. But maybe the thing that keeps us from really fully expressing it. Well, I mean, obviously we have different personalities, and I think the reason why we're all split up into these different identities is just maybe so that, they say the universe can experience itself in different ways and grow in different areas, whatever. But I think that the gosh, I don't even know. My brain is fried. But gosh dang it, I was on a thought here.
We're doing all these different things, but we're connected to some.
Yeah. Okay. It's built within us, right? I can. Yeah. So it's built within us, and then oh yeah. Oh yeah. So we're all split up for the universe to experience itself. But fuck, I forgot my point.
That's okay.
Yeah, you know what? It's fine.
It is fine.
Yeah.
Because you're like, there is something huge there that you're saying. Like, it is very limiting to be thinking of ourselves as separate or alone or
right. That's what. Yes. So like our ego. So we limit ourselves because we've been separated, and in order for us to consider ourselves as separate, we have attached our identities to this persona. You know what I mean? That separates us. So, but it's just kind of like what we were talking about, I think, that last time, about how we have like our egoic self, and we view ourselves as separate from, or we have an attachment to an identity that we've created, and we feel threatened when somebody isn't upholding that for us, or if they're judging us or whatever, but we're limiting ourselves by considering ourselves a contained separation from other things, when we are all like a fractal, we all contain the whole type thing. I think that was my I got there.
Dude, of course you did, and it's really inspiring and exciting. It's really exciting and inspiring.
Yeah.
Because then, like, it's kind of like I think of the possibilities, and then it's also like it also shatters the ego in like a refreshing way, because it feels really powerful, and it just makes me think like what people can do and accomplish, like, and it makes the whole thing seem grander. Like, I don't know about you, but it can be still like, I believe in all this stuff that we're accessing now and talking about now.
Yeah.
I believe in it. Like, I believe in the fractal metaphor is a perfect metaphor for like what we're doing. But then I think it can be really easy to still get sucked back into, like, I'm a person, I have these things, I'm trying to figure myself out, like, I'm doing this and that. And, yeah, it's really refreshing in a way that feels true, in a way that feels, like, really, I don't know, like, powerful to, like, let go of it and be part of some cell in a bigger body.
Right.
Like, as you're talking, like, I'm also getting really excited about how the human body feels the same to me, but in some interesting ways. Like, we have so many cells in our body.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
For example.
Right.
And they all contain DNA. Our DNA, like our unique sequence of DNA.
Yeah.
And opposite of what you're saying about the fractals, but still just keeps calling to me, is like you're saying that each little fractal contains the grander thing, right?
Right.
The grander thing just got bigger, but it's still connected to the bigger thing, and it's exciting about universal consciousness, or it feels a little bit like that. The cells all contain the whole also.
Right.
The cells, not only does each individual cell contain the DNA that the whole body has, but the whole body has DNA that would know how to make any part of the body.
Right.
So it's the small knows about the big, and the big knows about the small.
Yes. Yes.
So the body is like a fractal to me also in some way.
Absolutely.
DNA is the fractal in some way.
Yeah.
And I remember once in like science class, I remember like my biology freshman year or whatever. I remember him saying like, yeah, we have 98% DNA in common with gorillas. And everyone was like, whoa, like, whoa. And then he goes, and we have 90% DNA in common with worms.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I've been mind blown about the fact that like we have that, there's almost like a sequence for life itself that everything has built on top of. Yeah. I don't know, but we all have, I don't know what my point was going there.
That's good, yeah.
But I guess the fractals got me really excited about DNA, I guess, for the same reason, like how trippy that like humans don't seem to organize super well in society, you know, but like nature.
Right, nature.
And collective universal consciousness and fractals and math and stuff.
Yeah.
There's a self-organizing principle in nature that's doing a way fucking better job of just like, I don't know, the general humans out in the world, because it figured out how to make a fucking human.
Right.
It figured that whole thing out, and it contains all the instructions, and the fractals contain all of the... Anyway, the small big and the big small.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I swear there's got to be some type of correlation with, like, in quantum physics too, like subatomic particles and how they behave, like, and I don't know how this will relate, but for some reason it makes me think about the entanglement. Yeah. Because it's like so so like when two subatomic particles interact with each other or become entangled, they could separate like a universe apart, but still whatever happens to one instantly happens to the other. It's still connected. There's no separation of it, you know? They like, in a way, they become one in a way.
Yeah.
And
fucking so cool.
Somehow that's making me think. I don't know how that relates, but it's another fucking cool facet of nature.
Yeah,
that's fascinating.
Well, yeah. Well, when you talk about quantum entanglement, I think about. Do you ever have? I don't know if you have. Look, my mom and I are both. We both have like, I guess, deep emotions and can get thrown off by them sometimes. But I feel like when I've had a bad day, she's had a bad day. When she's had a bad day, and I'm just wondering if you've run into that before. And I feel like it's not just been with my mom, but my mom and I are particularly attuned in such a way, like, did you have a weird day today? Oh, I did too. Like, it happens that. But even at work, do you ever ask somebody, does it feel like it's been a long day for you?
Right,
yeah, it feels like it's been a long day. Does
It's
it
like
feel like the
everybody-
day flew by? It feels like the day, like everybody
Yes.
feels almost the same way at the
Yeah.
same time sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's very, it feels like it's fairly common actually experience, which is fascinating realizing that.
Right, because maybe we're all entangled in ways that we can't
Entangled.
not necessarily see. Like, so when you said quantum entanglement, I'm like shared moods,
Right. Yeah.
shared consciousness, like we're doing something together here. Like,
yeah. So there's this thought experiment in the theory in the holographic universe theory,
mhm.
which I find interesting because what it's saying, what the thought experiment is let's say you have a single fish in a fish tank, and you have a camera pointing to the side of it, and then another camera pointing to like the front of it, right? And you are looking at two monitors, right? And you're thinking you're looking at two different fish, and then the fish moves, and you're seeing instantaneous movement, and you're thinking that two separate things are behaving as one, when in fact they are literally just one thing, but our perception of it is that it's two. So like maybe somehow that there's this thing that we are perceiving ourselves as separate from others, just like we think that when in fact we are of the same.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Like the fractals carrying each part, carrying the whole. It's almost like, well, if you and I both carry the whole, then how are we even different from each other? If we have the same whole, but we're just different parts of the same whole, but yet each contains all of it, you know?
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yes.
that's just fascinating to think about. So like with emotions, it's like, well, maybe this is just one big part of the universe that's having this one emotion, and you guys are parts of it that are experiencing it in from different perspectives, like different monitors only, but still the same fish.
Yeah, absolutely. One's on the tail and one's on the body, but it's the same fish.
And it's kind of like in the same in sync movement, you know.
Definitely, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. So, yeah, I'm hearing this and believing it and knowing it to be true and wanting access to that knowing more often.
Yeah.
Does that feel like that would enrich your life?
If I knew it more often, or
if I was more aware of broader and greater consciousness more of the time, or shared experience more of the time, or lack of separation and illusion of the world, like, would it enrich your life? Do you think that's why? Do you think that do you reach for it? Like, do you want more of that feeling and awareness, or?
I do, but only for the sake of for one, I want the truth in life. I just want to know what the truth is.
That's interesting.
If it's not the truth, I don't want to engage. Like that's kind of like the whole thing is. That's what ultimately drives me by like 90%. But also, to make my life easier, I prefer to not be so reactive, and I'd like to be more neutral about things just for the sake of my humanness and my quality of life. And so I think for me, if I'm going to see people as one string of consciousness, that we're all connected and we're all just trying our best, but we just view ourselves from different cameras, you know, then that can give me a little bit more compassion and understanding, or less reactiveness, theoretically, you know?
Yeah.
So like, but it's like, obviously I feel like I have an intellectual understanding of a lot of this, or like I've thought about it a lot, but like living it is obviously a very wildly different experience.
Sure. Yeah, but that's fascinating. I love what you said. Yeah, I feel intellectually too that I kind of it's intuitive, but then I think I just get wrapped up in my ego, so that's or my individual experience. So that's what I was asking for. But what I would love to know more about is, like, you want the truth.
Yeah.
You have like an intrinsic desire. Can we dig in to
Well-
that? Because I'm fascinated by this piece of the fractal wants the truth of the whole thing. You want the whole thing.
Yeah, but what I'm wondering is. I wondered where that
went. Should we show our 1 to 2 listeners?
Oh, shit. Oh, that's funny.
Soon to be, yeah. Anyway, that's funny.
It's just half a joint that fell on me.
That's what he found spontaneously.
I was like, was this a pencil on the floor?
Picked it up and continued talking, and it was so funny. I wonder where that went. Good.
Oh, it's funny.
Yeah, so you want to know the truth. Maybe the truth just manifested itself.
It's like, yeah, if you want the truth, just...
boom, bada boom, smoke this shit.
Yeah. But, like, why, isn't that what everybody wants? Or what is fascinating to you that I said that? Because you had a reaction when I said that I was firstly looking for truth, but I wonder why I'm not, I guess I don't know.
You're wondering, doesn't everybody?
Yeah, doesn't everybody? Isn't that what we're all on this? Isn't that what this, or am I?
No, you're doing fine.
Okay.
You're doing fine. You're asking me, well, don't you also want the truth?
Right, yeah, isn't that...
And what is interesting about me wanting the truth, I assume everybody does. And I don't think that's a bad assumption at all. So I'm just going to take a moment and dive deep, because I think that I used to consider myself more of a seeker. And I'm not necessarily not a seeker now. But I guess that I used to want the truth also. And this was truth in terms of mental truth.
Yeah.
Intellectual truth. Absolute truth about everything, okay?
Yeah.
And I used to think, I used to hop from exciting insight to exciting insight to exciting insight, and then I think, like, I've now realized, for me only, that I have seen a lot of things and understood a lot of things, and I have had a lot of things that feel like great insights for me. And I also am very aware that I'm going to bore myself to sleep when I say this, and I'm boring myself right now even saying it, but somehow I'm not, because I'm speaking from like a feeling of peace in the belly when I say, I just need to integrate. I just need to, right. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like,
so imagine somebody's so excited by what about this and what about this and what about this, and then I've done like enough to realize that my mind is very quickly flitting from thing to thing, and that was actually a pretty disorganized way to be, because I wasn't following through on anything, me in particular.
Sure.
Because I maybe would have been searching for truth, but then neglecting that the physical experience of being in a body, and being really inconsistent, for example, with like exercise, on again, off again, on again, off again, literally maybe hundreds if not thousands of times in my life. Meditation, on again, off again, on again, off again. And this is this has been localized chaos for me. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then combine that with our spiritual seeking and stuff, and it's just like, at the end of the day, no matter how I used to find people boring like this, that are like, I brush my teeth, I meditate, I exercise, and in the end I've settled on insights being insights and intellectual knowledge, feeling like I kind of have a grasp generally of, I think, what's going on, now being more about integration and staying focused.
Yeah.
because I have such a hard time in that seeking mode, and I flip.
Yeah.
Even I still flip from like, which thing am I integrating now? Like, I'm trying to trust the universe. Oh, now 5 minutes later, I'm saying it a different way and doing it in a different way. And it's just like my poor attention mechanism is just all over the place.
Yeah.
So what's true for me now? How am I experiencing it? What habits do I need to stay grounded? Because my emotionality is a big part of my existence too. That might also, anyway, that I need to care for. I have to care for myself super consistently. Anyways, I don't know how badly did this answer your question.
Yeah.
Now I'm less drawn by like I want the truth. I'm more drawn by like I want peace.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I want
it does.
peace.
I feel like
this is only the last year or so. I think I've come to this conclusion. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry,
no, I feel like my my journey has been fairly similar in that my like search for truth. So that's the thing is like me searching for truth. It was like a torture in a way, you know, because I could never feel at peace, right?
Yeah.
And like now I'm less, well, I shouldn't say I'm less searching for truth. I think my mind is just kind of geared to like see things to like try to figure out, is that wishful thinking? Is that just self-serving, you know? And I just want the truth. But I've kind of become, I've learned to become more content with not knowing, and that's what brings me peace. But like at the same time, I still want to know.
Yeah,
you know
of
what I
course,
mean? And I will still want to read or like I want to like talk about it. You know, it's like, and I want it to be the truth that I want to ultimately get there. But you know what I'm starting to realize is like I don't think the truth is truly a graspable thing. I think it's like that by design. I think the truth is the searching for it and how we change from that and what we do with that. And there's 8 billion people on this planet, and that to me that means there is 8 billion truths, and not one of them is more or less true than the other.
Beautiful.
You know?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I think that's like, but I still at the end of the day I do have a sciencey mind too, because I'm like, well, I do think of things in like a data perspective and like what's reproducible, and you know, can this be proven to me, or how much can I feel comfortable saying I know this to be true. But some of those things just I don't think are definable. I don't think they're meant to be defined. I think that the pure beauty is in that torture of searching. Once you realize that it can be beautiful, you know, that it doesn't have to be torture, and that the journey is who we are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is us. It's not something to run from or to perfect, you know? So yeah, I don't know if that was really rambling or
no, that was great. Yeah, no, that's absolutely it. Yeah, it sounds really similar.
Yeah, like when you're talking, I'm like, dude, yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, like I feel like we both kind of like have gone through that, and then like now we're finding ways to like, I guess, integrate it, or what, I don't know.
Yeah.
Find peace somehow.
Right. Maybe somehow we're still searching. Like we very obviously are. But then, then very obviously we've had also time to see a lot of these come and go. And then, I can just remember like really seeing the mind, like, because how much of it is our mind that's doing the seeking, and we'll wonder what it's doing there for. But I remember like, in a retreat, like I was really daydreaming about starting a certain kind of YouTube or TikTok or whatever about like being a wandering meditator and stuff that. And I've had so many Vipassana retreats like that where I've had creative ideas. Yeah. And suddenly I had this epiphany, like, how's the girl doing that's having
Oh.
And I could feel how so tired I was, you
Yeah.
know? So tired. So the mind gets so excited by the next shiny creative object. And I swear the next day it'll be my relationship with my aunt.
Oh.
That'll feel the pull of importance. So I'm not
Yeah.
necessarily saying for you, but I don't, the search might be a little more like from a stable place. But for me, I think almost my mind flits from exciting thing to exciting thing. And it gets so consumed by thinking that that's it. It's going to save me somehow, which might be my own issues.
Yeah.
And then I'm just depleted.
Yeah.
And it's just fascinating the way I'm in these meditation retreats to meditate and sit with myself. But it's like, but let me tell you what's really important to think about. That's not your breath, and it's not. And it tricks me so well because I must be such an intellectually based person or habituated person that I don't often know that it's the mind tricking me. They feel really important in that moment. They feel really inspired in that moment, and maybe they even are. But in the end, I'm supposed to be there getting really into the body.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a trick. So I'd be curious, like, if you ever felt tricked or deceived by the mind, or if this just feels like you yourself, the soul, who also seeks and searches, like.
I think, well, I think my mind on its search has really caused me to pick up bad habits that are not conducive to being in the body type thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'm just so geared to be kind of like trying to find something that I'm not able to be in the present moment.
Yeah.
It's very difficult for me to be in the present moment. It's
Yeah.
not common for me. It's like, you know, it's so that's where I think my mind trickery has or like where like the fucking shadow of this whole journey has been is just like trying to uncover that and undo that type of way of being, which is difficult.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Especially when you think that you're doing something like finding the truth, like, you know, something that's worth giving up any bodily thing, you know, you're trying to find this holy grail, like I would sacrifice whatever for that, you know?
Yeah.
So it's hard to then come to this understanding that all this time I thought I was doing something worthwhile and maybe a noble endeavor has really worked against me, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm trying to undo that, you know, and it's like, fuck, you know, now I'm 43, my brain wrinkles have been formed and they're like paved with cement at this point. What the fuck? You know, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I hate that. I have that same self-judgment that happens about now that we're around 40. Like,
yeah.
Like that same self-judgment happens, but I don't think there's any should.
Yeah, I know.
And I just wanted to take that off your plate.
Yeah, it's just what I wish is I wish that in my awareness of things, especially of my own ways of being, I wish that I could then just change it because I know what's happening, and then I just find that I'm just it's such a fucking process to change.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. Change something about yourself, you mean?
Yes.
So you are then saying that you're missing the present moment sometimes, and that you would like to be more present focused. Is that an accurate
Yeah, I would
thing?
like to be more present focused. I wish that I had spent more time appreciating my physical life instead of resenting it, you know. But even though I understand now that there's a lot to experience here, I'm just, it's hard for me to then switch gears and then be in the world and doing things and taking action for stuff that I want. Like, I just have such a way of being that's created a comfort that's difficult to leave, you know?
Sure.
So,
Do you think? Yeah, I see a lot of cool things that you're doing right now. You did change your job recently. You're in a woodworking
that's
class.
true,
You're
yeah.
learning Mandarin. So it feels like you're really engaged right now with the world. To me.
yeah, that's a, you know, I appreciate that because I think I'm not really paying much attention to that. Like, I feel like I'm not realizing that,
Mm-hmm.
but, you know, all of those things are just within the last 2 months too. So it's kind of interesting actually now to think about that. I'll have to
Maybe you're
ponder
having
that.
maybe you're having a moment where you're changing some of the grids.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Maybe I just wish it was overnight, and that's just not how it works. And,
Yeah,
and so
or
I'm failing to see any of it.
Yeah, or maybe it just takes some momentum before you're feeling like I feel like those. Yeah, like we only have our own minds all the time with us.
Yeah.
So maybe even though these outside changes are coming, maybe you still feel like there's a pattern in there that consumes you, that changes slowly, or maybe there's changes going on but they're slow, or
Yeah. I think Yeah, that's exactly it. I think I probably just feel like yeah, I still just feel like I'm kind of up against a wall a little bit, and I don't know really where it is. But you know, I am doing a few things differently, so it's interesting that I'm failing to mark those on the side of progress. You know.
Yeah, it's just interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean though. I know what you mean though about neglecting the physical, but I think that's I don't know, it's a fascinating common problem, and people spend their whole lives meditating to try to work with it. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. You're making me want to go to the bless you. You're making me want to go to the retreats, you know.
Oh.
That's all you do. Hey, what's your breath doing? Hey, what's your breath doing? Hey, what's happening? What's happening?
Yeah.
What's happening in your body, you know?
Yeah.
And like, it's hard for the mind to be engaged with that after it's engaged with these grand ideas.
Right, yes.
Or fear-based or anger-based, because like these things are much more exciting.
Right.
Or threatening.
Right.
Or addictive.
Right.
Or habitual. So it is like torture for the mind to be like, yeah, but we're still scanning the like left thigh right now. Like, it's like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
But I could make a TikTok and I could rehearse the whole script right now. Oh, that's a really emotional, so I could do it over and over again. Like, the mind really doesn't like to, I mean, it takes a tremendous amount of training to pull it back from what these things that you're pursuing, these seeking, these ideas that you have. I mean, they're there for a reason. There's something that they might feel like they promise you. There's something that they might be exciting. Like, and the fractals idea is fucking exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, there's an excitement there.
It's just interest. It's fascinating. Like, that's what I'm interested in.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I guess I don't know what we're doing.
Because I don't. Yeah.
Because excitement seems awesome. So maybe there's been no problem here. Maybe there's been no problem. Did I come with my tired mind and problem focus and like be like, Jay, are we being present enough? Yes, I just am excited about fractals. But
well, I think though sometimes it can become like an obsessive and like thing, and that's when I think it crosses over from, you know, a healthy excitement to something that's, you know, pulling your energy away from you.
Great distinction.
So yeah, I think there's a balance to be had.
Oh my god, great distinction. Because do you ever have trouble putting it down?
Yeah.
All the time? I do. Hey, mind, I didn't tell you to think about that. Like, stop thinking about that 500 times.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Like, do you feel like you have ability to go, I'm not gonna think about that anymore, and then the mind will stop.
You know, if I depending on what it is, usually I can, but it's some yeah, I don't know. It's usually past the point of feeling balanced though. Like I'll usually take it to a point where it's like, okay, I just have to be done with this, you know. And then, you know, the damage has been done, so to speak. But yeah, what about you?
No, yeah, I was just thinking like I went in a different.
Oh,
Can I go in a different?
yeah,
direction?
please.
I want to remember this more. You've brought up the fractals, and I want to integrate it such that I remember this more. This feeling that we're getting when we're talking about being little fractals
Yeah.
connected to the universe, because when I said, do you want to know it more? I think you said like that you kind of already know it, right? Does that make sense?
No, what more?
Sorry. Okay, like, what did I say? Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm tired.
That's okay.
We're all a part of the same grander thing. We're all a part of some greater consciousness. Yeah. Just a limb of it. Like, we're just different cells on some cosmic body. Right?
Right.
I want to know that more because I don't operate that way on a daily basis. Because what would that imply? If you were part of something bigger, then 99% of the things that I worry and obsess over, I wouldn't have to worry and obsess over.
Right.
So that's why, and even when you and I are talking about it and we both seem to intellectually know and believe that that's what's happening, I don't think I know in a deeper way, right?
Right.
Or I don't think I'm trusting it in a deeper way.
Right.
Intellectually is one thing, but then we were talking about the barrier between, maybe we weren't talking about the barrier between the conscious and the unconscious mind. How, for example, how we would always choose to like lead with the heart. If we were given an option on a video game screen, we know the answer is to choose being vulnerable.
Right.
Rather than, but that the things happen emotionally and down at the subtler levels or whatever.
Right.
So, I guess I'm trying to say I probably have barriers all over inside me that are even though you and I both know that this is the nature of reality, the fractals are the nature of reality, I'm probably operating some large percentage as though it's not true at a subconscious or pattern level.
Right. But I mean, me as well.
Sure.
Yeah. Like I think like when we say that each one of us contains the whole, of course that's going to be difficult for our mind to grasp, because our mind is what keeps us from experiencing it, you know? Like our mind is what separates us, you know? I see myself as a sliver of just a being in this world against all these other beings, and we're just ping-ponging, you know, we're all just trying to make it work, and it's not some cohesive whole. That's not my daily experience, and it never has been, and I don't know it ever will be. But the thing that is keeping it is we're relying on this mind, which defines us as separate. We're relying on that to understand that it's not separate, when that is the only thing that is required, or that's the thing that's keeping us separate. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
In order for it to stay alive, it has to maintain its separateness. And yet we're kind of asking these minds to give up itself in order to experience wholeness. Like, I don't know if that's really...
Yeah, okay. You're saying, of course
we don't get, like, we're not fully integrating and ingesting it. Like it's like it's asking a hand to grasp itself in a way, you know? Mm-hmm. It doesn't bend that way. Our minds don't... maybe that's not fully what I mean, but what I'm mostly meaning is that the minds are what's keeping it from it, but we're demanding it to also reject itself in order to say, yeah, I said it. But yeah.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Of course, then. So then, how, because even, yeah, how do we go about this?
Well, what is our, well, if we have an understanding and, well, go about what? What's the end goal?
To be a container rather than a separate self. To be a vessel for universal consciousness and will instead of a self.
So that might be what some people's definition is of enlightenment, right? And I think that if this is gonna sound kind of crazy, I don't know. I haven't really thought a lot about it at all, but I would think that if you or I or anybody were to truly get to the point where we no longer perceived ourselves as separate, like there would be then no reason for the body. We would just like die. Like the journey of this here has its there's no value to it anymore because we've overcome, we've surpassed all of the restrictions and the beauty that comes with having those restrictions and for growth or whatever, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that might seem that's like a half-baked thought. That's so
I like it.
but I guess what I'm ultimately saying is maybe that's not, well, maybe that's not like the purpose of life, you know, like maybe we want that because we like are like, oh, that's what's true, but maybe it's good enough for us to sit and have these conversations and bit by bit grow and add to ourselves and let go parts of ourselves based on what we learn, and then still we're still gonna have to engage in the world, we still have to like pay our fucking bills, we still have to live here and be human beings. And so in order to want to negate all of that, to get rid of that entire experience would mean that there's then no purpose in being here, and there would be no way for that to be here. I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
So, but
yeah.
But do I understand what you mean when you said to be a container and not a sliver or whatever? Was that what are you saying that you're trying to live a world that's not without an ego, not as seeing yourself as separate from some, or
well, like,
did I go overboard?
No, you didn't. We there's some nuances we could explore there for sure. There's a lot of richness in what you said, and there was nothing wrong with it. No, yeah, I think like that's a good point. Because I'm saying an extreme when I say, like, what if I just dissolved into the universe? And you're going, just, you can also be a person and that's meaningful too, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, and there's a point to it. There's a point there's a point to having been born and given the mind also, and to work with it somehow. Right. Exactly. There's a point to being here, and we don't have to skip to the end and be enlightened. Right. This is so short-lived as it is. Right. We're having some sort of meaningful experience that is worth and like, yeah, I think it's worth it.
Would you say that maybe or did you mean more along the lines that like how can we like integrate this thinking or ways of being in order to just be at peace for like a stable for the rest of our lives? Yeah, well, like, for example, we're having this conversation now, and it's like so like fulfilling, and I can feel it. Yeah. Sorry. Is it because yeah, I'm having one of those. It's like it's having such a sorry, go ahead. It's okay. No, I'm like you said, tired, so I'm getting kind of
Giggly.
Yes,
Yeah,
giggly,
no,
that's
this
all
is
it is.
totally mean.
Okay.
We both contain the same
Okay.
the same fractal.
Yes. Yeah.
Deliriously tired sometimes. Yeah. So the I would just like to get out of my own way more. Because if the universe is trying to do cool shit through me, I bet you I'm resisting it. So does that make sense?
Well, yes.
I'm
that's
getting
the
tied
story of
up
my
in
life. This is
right, like I'm trying to ballerina you, and you're just putting your face in the dirt.
Yes.
Like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to mountain climb you, and you're just in a desk job. What are you doing?
Yeah.
So there's some sort of extreme. What I've said is, well, disappear completely, and you're
Right.
going, I don't know, but certainly I'm too far the other way. Certainly I'm analyzing myself to absolute death all the time and drowning in reactivity and not trusting and not letting go and not surrendering and whatever. Surely I'm in my own way. So yeah, I guess I'm asking but right now we're having this amazing conversation. One of the things that I can feel right now is just so connected.
Yeah.
Like when we started talking about it, my whole thing is lit up, and I'm like, yeah, I'm connected to something bigger than myself. I'm feeling like so much peace in the body. So I'm trying to, I guess, maybe hang on to it and integrate it more and remember it more percentage of the time, and behave as though it's true a higher percentage of the time, because I think that leads to misery when we know something to be true. We want to believe this and we want to act like this, but we're really acting like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we want to believe in abundance, and some part of us very damn well does, but I bet you that we act from scarcity all the time.
Right.
So it's like, what are we really gonna get?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So maybe even when I don't feel this way, this lit up, this aware of the truth, maybe I need to act as though I do. Or maybe there's a way to access this feeling more of the time that we're having when we're talking. Or they can meet in the middle. I can take some risks even when I'm not feeling true. But it'd be nice to be able to connect to that truth more often in some ways.
Absolutely.
Right. I don't know. Does this resonate with you in the sense that when we're talking, it's more apparent to you? Like the truth is more apparent to you?
Yes, and I feel like that tingliness or, whatever, like you feel connected, like there's something moving through. And yeah, I mean, I wish I could walk around in that type of feeling everywhere I went, but I totally understand I guess it's the whole concept of integration yet again, is just trying to embody what it is we are discovering. We want to embody it. In times when we're not necessarily thinking about it. I just want it to be there. And I think a lot of that is a lot of conscious effort of trying to keep that awareness, and then or just gentle reminders with self when you need it, or feeling particularly reactive or resistant to something. Maybe just having a little nudge that's not self loathing or whatever, just a little nudge that's like, a parent that's just turning the child in the right direction a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't have to kick ourselves in the ass for feeling reactive or being human.
Yeah.
But if we want to have an awareness, we do have to employ it in the times where it matters.
Mm-hmm.
You and I right now are in a relatively safe place. We're comfortable with each other. We're feeling open. And so it's the right environment for this type of feeling. And so I think it's really just a matter of a slight nudge when we're not in this type of environment.
Yeah.
And then maybe it could just build from there. And just a little reminder in the head and in the brain.
Yeah.
Say, hey, this doesn't have to be this way. Remember that conversation or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
This is good. I wish I could wander through them. But this is good. I'm glad that we're talking. There's something about it that's like wakes up the whole thing. It's the right topic.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
The fractals.
That was good. How are you feeling?
Good. You?
Good.
Yeah. Where are we?
I don't know. Do we want to? Do you have more to talk right now? We can always do a part 2 or something if you want. But
yeah, I feel like some mixed feeling of like I want more of this feeling I want to discover.
Yeah.
But I am having trouble knowing how to stay in it, how to stay on it, what to say,
Right.
And I think then we might be running into limits of the bodies. It sounds like you've been tired today, and then also I've been tired today, and so I wonder if that could be influencing us.
Yeah, I think so.
Or if there can be other barriers that come.
Yeah.
That I'm not even aware of or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to check in.
Yeah, where are you at?
I'm like 50-50, so that's like I don't know where I'm at, I think.
Isn't that hard to know? It's hard to know like what I find tuning into the self and even the situation and knowing like what the right thing to do is probably something like intrinsic and easy, but like I've lost touch with.
Yeah.
It's easy to lose touch. It's easy to not know.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's like in touch with the body thing, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know. Sorry.
Let me see. Well, we're at an hour.
Okay, maybe that's
I think that might be.
Sure.
Okay.
How did it feel?
Out this part too. So
yeah, sure. How did it feel for you? I hope I didn't like deflate your fractals idea. Or
no, not at all. I feel like no.
Okay, yeah, because it was you were like so excited and like I don't understand like all the time like if I'm like accidentally like steering it away or getting distracted or being like problem solving or whatever.
I feel like that's the beauty of these. I love that. It's not that's like it's like, you know, we're just navigating, we're just bouncing ideas. You know, I feel like that was perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it at all.
Okay, good.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, thanks for watching.